If your life is rooted in something that never changes, then you will be able to stand against the change that does happen in your life. You guys are going to experience change, and you have experienced change. And you're going to continue to experience changes that are positive and negative. And so it's important to have your life rooted in something that doesn't change no matter what's going on in your life. And the author of Hebrews is arguing that that thing is Jesus. That never changes, that will be your solid rock. And the author of Psalms actually puts this pretty well. They're like trees planted along the riverbank, bearing fruit each season. Their leaves never wither, and they prosper in all that they do. Where's the tree planted? By the riverbank. What does water do for a tree? Okay, it gives it nutrients, right? It helps it grow. It helps the roots stay strong. Here's what I want you guys to get out of this introductory lesson this week, okay? It's that God never changes. No matter what you're going through, no matter how many stones get thrown at you, no matter how many bad things happen in your life, God never changes. And He's always there for you, and He's always looking out for you. And in fact, He's given us His Spirit to guide us through those storms so that we can remain rooted in Him. How many of you've experienced, maybe it's at camp, or maybe it's at a CIY conference, or maybe it's at your grandma's house or out in the woods somewhere, or maybe just a personal study where you've been just you and your Bible and praying with God, but you've had an experience where like you were going through something tough, but God showed Himself to be faithful in your situation. How many of you've had something like that happen to you before? What I want you to remember is that same God who is faithful to you then, He will be faithful again, despite whatever life throws at you. What will happen to a lot of you is you'll graduate high school, and you'll kind of think that this stuff that we talked about in church doesn't really apply anymore. And you're going to be out on your own for the first time, many of you, and you're going to have to make some decisions about how you're going to live, what you're going to believe in, and how that factors into your life. And you're going to be tempted to think back on things like this. Let's say, oh, well, God never changed. Well, actually, we know today that blah, 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 and you're going to make excuses because you're going to want to live a different way. So what I want to urge you is when you're having those thoughts, I want you to remember that if God was faithful before, He will be faithful again. And many of you, maybe God has been faithful in your life, but you just can't see it because you're looking at the wrong things. God never changes. And if you root your life in His truths, in His Word, and in His Son, in Jesus, then nothing life throws at you can ever be powerful enough to shake you from it.